I heard her say no twice. Her voice was polite, but firm, and they just kept talking. That's when I realized these guys weren't just annoying. They were the kind of people who don't take no for an answer. And that's when I stepped in and ruined their entire day. This happened years ago, back when my partner and I bought our very first home. Now, it wasn't anything luxurious, no big gates, no fancy design, just a quiet little street. The kind of street where time feels slower, where houses were built back in the 1950s and people never really left. But what made that place special wasn't the buildings, it was the people. Almost every neighbor on that street had lived there for decades. We were the youngest couple by far. Everyone else, seniors. Kind souls, the type of people who wave from their porches, who remember your name, who ask how your day was, and actually mean it. They moved a little slower, but they cared a whole lot more. And naturally, over time, we became the helpers of the street, taking out trash cans, fixing little things, clearing gutters before storms. Nothing big, nothing heroic, just being decent. But there was one problem, a constant one. Door-to-door salesmen. And not the polite kind, not the sorry to bother you type. No, these were the aggressive ones. The ones who ignored signs. The ones who saw a street full of elderly people and saw opportunity. Every house had a no soliciting sign. Clear, visible, impossible to miss. And yet, they knocked anyway. At first, I ignored it. Then it started to bother me. Then it started to get under my skin. Because it wasn't just about me. It was about them. People who didn't deserve to be pressured, interrupted, or talked over. And every time I heard those knocks echo down the street, I could feel something tighten inside me. My jaw, my chest, my patience. Until one day, I snapped. It was a warm afternoon. Quiet, peaceful. The kind of day where nothing should go wrong. My window was open, and that's when I heard voices. Two men, loud, confident, not asking, pushing. I leaned slightly toward the window, not trying to spy, just listening. And then I heard her, my neighbor, the sweetest woman you could ever meet. She said calmly, "No, thank you." There was a pause. Then one of the men spoke again, faster this time, more forceful. She repeated herself, still polite, still calm. "No." Another pause. And then they kept going. And in that moment, something inside me changed. Because I knew that tone, that pressure, that refusal to accept a clear answer. My chest tightened, my hands curled, without me even noticing. This wasn't confusion. This was deliberate. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they picked the wrong house. I leaned out the window and said, "She said no." My voice was sharp, direct, "Move on." There was silence. Then one of them looked up at me, annoyed, offended, and that was mistake number one. He snapped back, "Mind your own business." And for a second, everything went quiet. And in that silence, I made a decision. I stepped outside, slowly, deliberately, the kind of walk that says, "This ends now." They turned toward me as I approached. Now I could see them clearly. That confidence, that attitude, the fake smiles gone. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I looked them straight in the eye and said, "She said no." Pause. That means you leave. They tried to argue, tried to talk over me, tried to regain control, but I didn't let them. I cut through every word with something stronger, clarity, boundaries, and just enough anger to make it uncomfortable. I told them, no is not the start of conversation. It's the end. You can see it on their faces. That shift, confidence fading, irritation rising, then discomfort. Finally, they stepped back, grudgingly, muttering under their breath, and started walking toward the sidewalk. But I wasn't done. I pointed, not at them, at the street, at every single house, one by one, and I said, "This entire street." Pause. They're under my protection. They stopped, turned slightly, confused, annoyed. I stepped forward. "I will follow you. another step to every house. And then I lowered my voice, just enough to make it land harder. And if you ignore one more no, pause. We're having this conversation again. Silence. Heavy silence. This time, they didn't argue. They just turned and walked, and I followed every step, house to house, driveway to driveway. Not too close, but close enough. Enough for them to feel it. At the first house, they knocked. Door opened. They started their pitch. But before they could even finish, the homeowner said, "No, thank you." And this time, they stopped. Immediately. No pushing. No pressure. They turned and left. I didn't say a word. Just nodded and kept walking. Second house. Same thing. Knock. Pitch. No. They left. Faster this time. By the third house, they didn't even finish their sentence. By the fourth, they barely knocked. By the fifth, they stopped trying. Their energy, gone. Confidence, drained. Every step heavier than the last. And I stayed right there, behind them, silent, watching, until they reached the end of the street. They didn't look back. They didn't speak. They just left. And I stood there for a moment, watching them disappear, and felt something settle inside me. Not anger, not anymore. Something better. Relief, because for once, they didn't get away with it.